Okay, week number 7. I'm Dane Rose, and we're looking at a year of transformational well-being. And this week, we're looking at goals. Now, last week we talked about sacred. I strongly recommend you go through this cycle in order, beginning with video number 1, designed to integrate and build on in some logical way that makes sense. Why are goals sacred? Well, one interesting study of successful people, and I apologize, I cannot find the exact source, said that successful people come in all kinds of shapes and sizes. Some are morning people, some are evening people, etc., etc. But there's one thing that ties highly successful people of all types together, and that's having clearly defined written goals. The question is, why? Well, one aspect, if we listen to the last week on honoring the sacred and a sacred space, is that the simple act of taking time to clearly define a goal differentiates it from all the other wishes, whims, etc. we might have, and lets us know that it's important. Number 2, it brings it to our attention. Number 3, it allows us to spot opportunities along the way. In other words, when I'm just driving around, what do I want to do? It's very unfocused. And I love that time. It's great. I'm doing that a lot right now. But when I have a list in the morning, like I want to do this, and this today, my mind alerts me, hey, something there. What was it? Oh, that could be a good stepping stone for this. I didn't know that was there. But in other words, our eyes actually get directed to opportunities we didn't see and know were there that could transform that goal, that could take us a step forward. The next thing is there's a pleasure. When we write a goal, we create a tension. It's like a rubber band. And there is a pleasure in checking it off. There is, I think it's a dopamine hit, where I did it. Now, if you don't clearly define your goals, you're always doing something, but you don't stand out and just say, I did it. I walked into the TV room. I did it. I ate some lunch. It just gets lost in a blur. But when we say, today, I wanted to walk for a mile, and I did it. This gives a dopamine rush. This makes us want to do another goal. It's like, what's next? What do I have to do to get that next I did it feeling? Oh, let's look at the next thing on the list. Okay, we have to go and pick up so-and-so at 2 p.m. We have to have this conversation with a client. I did it, I did it, I did it. I am succeeding. Now, as someone who has succeeded at thousands, we're probably at around 10,000 goals so far. I went through a very deep period of doing yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily goals. When you get into that routine, it goes very fast. And, at the peak of that period, I'd get halfway through the year and all my important goals for the year were done, and I'd have to rewrite the yearly goals. It's like, I want that hit again. I want to know that I did it. I wrote down my bucket list, because one of the troubles, if you get really good at goal achievement, is you kind of run out of things. Like, I'm not a big materialist, so just getting a new car that I don't need doesn't do much for me. So you run out of things. It's like, well, what do I do? So I then created a bucket list, and got 80% of my bucket list done in a year. Cost me 30 grand. Fun as hell, hang gliding, paragliding, kite surfing, traveling, buying a few things, creating things, writing 2 books, do it. My bucket list is largely done. It's like, that's one of the reasons I'm not in the peak of that, because it's not the only thing. But I think it's one of the most important human skills to know, is to develop your relationship with goals that truly mean something. I mean, you will fail like hell if you pick goals you don't care about and don't want, and say, go do all this stuff you don't care about and don't want. Why the fuck would you waste your time? But if you pick things that you care about, that you want, and frankly, it doesn't matter if you're terrified, like, I'm terrified if I don't do this, I'll be on the street and so I need to do this. That will work. Just be honest. I'm terrified. I need to do this. I got it. I can calm down now. This one I'm really happy about. I don't need to do it, but I really care about it. I'm going to do it. Here's the statistic about goals. You move 400 to 600% faster. It's that simple. If you will write and review on a regular schedule clearly defined written goals, you will move towards those goals 400 to 600% faster than you do if you will not. So if there's anything that you believe is important in your life, going back to that exercise last week, the sacred, if there's anything that's important in your life and you want to get there 400 to 600% faster, number one, and then there's a ton of goals that will never be done in an entire lifetime if you don't have goals. I would say 80% of my goals, remember that diagram and the trauma thing where we go with the flow. You go with the flow, you end up where everyone else is going. There are so many things about my life that I don't know anyone on this earth who's gone there. So why did I end up there? It wasn't going with the flow. It was clearly defining goals. So it's potent, it's powerful. Takes about 10 minutes a day and an hour a week. So that adds up to, it's about 2 hours a week in total. Now those 2 hours a week do not come out of goal accomplishment. They come out of TV. They come out of hemming and hawing. They come out of dawdling around. Shall I buy this? Shall I buy? It's not on my list. Get moving. Should I watch this? Should I step another hour on the TV? That's where the time comes from. So that's what you consume to become someone that you're not. See, this is powerful. Yesterday morning, I woke up with a goal, with an idea to make this series of blogs. Midnight on the same day, I'm into it 2 hours. Today, I'm into it an hour. This goal is coming into being, specifically because on this board, I wrote it down. It's powerful. It's powerful. So here's your job. If you are not intimate with clearly defined written goals, I think you should do the sacred thing first. Don't create goals to get to other people's dreams faster. Being efficient is not the top god. Goals will increase your efficiency at achieving what you stick on the goals. They will not help you become the person you want to become unless you put goals that do that on your list. If your mom wants you to be a lawyer, if your dad wants this, if your peers think this, if your girlfriend thinks this, Goals will help you become who they want you to be a lot faster. In other words, they're dangerous. They will speed you up. But goals in and of themselves will triple, quadruple, and more your speed. But they will not show you where you need to go. That's why this comes after honoring the sacred. But here's my general format. Goal for a particular period. So period. My goals for 2017, whatever the period is, the first quarter of the year, my goals for the month of January 2017. So the period. The other is the focus. This is what keeps me a little bit on track, meaning, we're a very chauvinistic culture, so we think if we get the Maserati or whatever it is, that's it. But that's not it. If you get the Maserati and are misery and ambiguous and feel guilty the whole step of the way, skip it. Why spend $300,000 to feel guilty and shitty? Skip it. So the focus is actually on how you want to feel. What's kind of out of whack? Like, are you too scared? And the focus is on courage. So I try and identify 3 states, 3 emotions, 3 states, 3 values. So it might be courage, honesty, and kindness. When I look at my life at a given period, and these are for the weekly and bigger goals. I don't do this daily, the focus point. But for the week, I look at what's out of whack about my state, so to speak. Then I write the goals. And I try and focus on, there's as Stephen Covey says, there are urgent, unimportant goals. Get rid of them. There are urgent, important goals. Do them immediately. There are not urgent, important goals. And then there are the urgent, unimportant goals. So get rid of the urgent, unimportant goals. Just get rid of them. Do the urgent, important goals first. Next, go to the important but not urgent goals. Most people are pretty good at, doing an important goal. Your house is on fire. My goal is to put out the house fire. You're going to rush at it until the house fire is out. Call the fire, you're on it. But what about writing a book that's going to change your life? Or going to change other people's lives. It's going to allow you to touch 100,000 people. What about that goal? And that's not urgent. This video is not urgent. It is one of the least urgent things in my life. Talking to you, my life doesn't change if I do this in 10 years, if I do it never, if I do it now. But it is important. In fact, it is the most important thing, other than my relationship with my girlfriend, in my life right now. Sharing this with you based on how it's affected me, and in gratitude for the hundreds of teachers that have helped me, makes this the most important thing I'm doing, except loving my partner. Important and not urgent is generally where life takes off. And that's what a good goal will help you do. Help you do things that are very important to you, that no one is ever going to criticize you if you don't do. That no one's ever going to crack into the whip, and that actually needs to interrupt urgent, unimportant things. Urgent, unimportant things, spam mail, respond immediately. No importance, urgent. Strangers wanting to talk about politics, completely urgent, they're all worked up about it, completely unimportant. It's not going to help any single person on earth to have that conversation. So this is the focus. So then you write your goals. And at beginning, work out, okay, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., I think I can do this goal. 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., wait a minute, I don't usually have time, and then I've got to eat breakfast. Okay, that's not realistic. Okay, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., do this, and check it off. Do a format that works. That's what works for me, and I usually try and do the most important things first thing in the morning, which for me, since I stay up till anywhere from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m., maybe first thing 2 p.m. when I wake up. Today, wake up 2 p.m., have some orange juice, take my multivitamins, do a little meditation, and it's right into this. And I go with the flow. It's like my greatest accomplishment in life is to have vast amounts of unstructured time, to have these ideas and sacrifice myself, sacrifice my body, sacrifice my time, sacrifice my money. I have to pay an assistant to do this stuff because it's important. It's the biggest accomplishment of my life, to feel like I'm using my time in a way that is sacred to me. That's the challenge for this week. And remember back to the 80-20 principle. I want you to do 20% of what I say. Not all of it. 20%. Do it well. If this is one of them, do it. If something else has more juice. But I'm going to give you in this year of 50 videos, or 55, one a week, I'm going to give you the most important things I've learned anywhere, traveling around the world, achieving thousands of goals, being a business person, valuing spirituality, exploring dozens of rich and important relationships. What's made the difference? In Thailand, it's beautiful bowing, because courtesy is more important than efficiency. In Thailand, I love this culture. Thank you for honoring me with your attention.